Hi, everybody. All eyes on the tropics as we are watching Helene making a Category 3 major hurricane landfall in Florida and then booking it toward the north. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justus, keeping you up to date on Helene, which is going to unfortunately rapidly intensify today. You can see it's starting to gather an eye wall right here over the Yucatan Peninsula. As it pulls away, it's going to move over deeper, warm water, and that's going to allow this system to strengthen and allow it to get stronger and faster. We've got a brand new track out and tropical storm and hurricane watches and warnings up and down the coast. Let me know in the comments section where you're watching from right now. I do look at that. I can tailor that forecast to you. Plus, please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to this. I am a severe weather expert. I will give you updates, whether it's hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever we face in the south, southeast especially. I'm going to be giving you those updates. Let me show you what's happening right now. Landfall has shifted a little to the west. So Panama City, Mexico Beach, you're kind of in the path of some worse weather here, but it looks like that right or worse side of it with winds up to now 125 miles per hour. We're now 5 miles per hour away from this being a Category 4. This is going to pack a punch, and because it's so powerful at landfall, it's going to be a problem farther inland. We've been talking about how fast this storm system is going to move, and you combine that with a Cat 3, Cat 4 landfall in here, it's going to pack a punch farther inland to where 60 mile per hour winds are not out of the question in the western Carolinas and northeast Georgia. So let's get right to it here. Our new models in, they are showing some consistency here with Apalachicola, Panama City, somewhere in between there, and then moving toward the north. Some get close to the South Carolina-Georgia border. Others are right through Atlanta. The vast majority of these, you've got all of the European, all of the GFS, UK Met, and this Canadian model plotted here on one map. What a powerful tool this is. They're very consistent here. So generally speaking, when you're on that right side, things are going to be a lot worse for you. This is going to be a major, major flood event for western North Carolina. The upstate of South Carolina, one of the worst storm systems we've faced in many, many years, okay? Let's show you what that means. And I know we've got impacts up and down from Florida to Georgia to the Carolinas with regard to school. You have to think it's not a matter of what happens later in the day. It's those school buses. A lot of school buses cannot run with winds sustained over 40 miles per hour. They just can't operate, okay? You got your other models in here that are trending right through Atlanta or between Atlanta and the Alabama-Georgia line, right there down the middle. You got another set of them here, kind of splitting the difference between the border and Atlanta. And then you've got the intensity. A lot of these want to take it very close to a Cat 3. Others kind of right here in a Cat 2. Then it plummets down after it makes landfall. But this thing's going to pack a punch. It's going to be really quite potent as it moves inland, especially when you look at this GFS model, which has consistently wanted to just send it from landfall up here to North Carolina in about 12 hours. That's a fast-moving system to where we're going to have some really, really rough weather for, 5-6 hours where it makes landfall, and then it's gone, okay? The problem with today in the western Carolinas, the upstate, western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, through North Georgia, is we've got a precursor event. There is a front over us right now, which is going to allow for a lot of rain to pile up today, tonight, tomorrow, before the system even gets here. All right, so the hurricane hunters have been flying around in this bad boy all day, crisscrossing it. They found Category 2 or Category 1 winds right there on that right quadrant, which is what you'd expect. And you can see those winds right here. So this is where the most potent winds are going to be as it sits right now. So again, always that right front quadrant's the worst. So keep that in mind when I show you this map of where this system's going. This is our new high resolution model. We're in that wheelhouse where these things really are in their bread and butter. I want to show you Asheville, Greenville, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia. Look at the rain today. This is tonight at 7 p.m. Look at the rain tonight at 11, 12. It's just absolutely pouring tonight. Pouring tomorrow. Just coming down left and right. Not stopping. I mean, this is a tremendous amount of rain all day, and the hurricane's yet to even make landfall, okay? So that's why we have such high flood concerns for areas like Charlotte West, through Asheville, through Highland, North Carolina, through parts of North Georgia. This is going to be a big-time rain event before it even gets here. So Thursday evening, Thursday night, this thing's coming on shore. Sure, we could have a severe weather threat already. Some of these cells could be squirrely up here with some tornado action in Atlanta or Greenville. Landfall looks to happen Thursday night, Thursday evening late. There's Apalachicola. You go up through Tallahassee. There's Panama City. So Panama City, you're kind of on the west side of the eye wall, which is not a cakewalk, but it's certainly not as worse as it will be for these folks over here. Cedar Key. Okay, these areas are going to be on the west side of it. All right, the system's continuing to move north. Now it's caught up in a Fujiwara effect. There's a dip in the jet stream right here. That's the name for the Japanese meteorologist that kind of founded the phenomenon. But a dip in the jet stream slingshots Helene north. Look how fast it moves up from landfall to being in North Georgia by Friday morning. It is just pouring Friday morning. You just got tremendous amounts of rain through 8, 9, 10 o'clock. By the time we get to 11 o'clock, 12, 1, most of the rain is back through Tennessee, some in North Carolina. And then by 2, 3, 4 o'clock, the rain's over with. The severe weather's done, and this thing's kicking on out of here. Let's look at some of our high-res computer models. Let's look at the latest high-resolution rapid refresh, as we call it. Gets us close to landfall. Shows it tightening up, similar to the NAM right there. But look at all that rain. Look at all that rain already. Tonight, tomorrow, all this for all of South Carolina, all of North Carolina, just getting pummeled with rain most of Thursday, and the system's not even here yet. Here it comes up through there into Friday morning. This is a little earlier on this high-resolution rapid refresh model. It's got it up through Greenville and done by 6 a.m., and it's got it on approach right there. Let's look at the wind speeds in this high-resolution model. Surface wind will go with gusts in here, kind of show the max capacity these winds will have. So this HRR has Hurricane 1, Hurricane 2 winds, and it spreads it up because it's moving so quickly. You got 50, 55 mile per hour winds in the Western Carolinas. As for rain, this high-res model's got anywhere from 2 to 4, but you get in here closer. Let's zoom in and show you the problems into Western North Carolina, into South Carolina. You got 3 to 5 is a good estimate for the upstate. And then you get in here to these higher elevations. If you look at your map down here, that's 10 plus inches of rain. Some of these purples are 14 inches of rain. So Mount Mitchell is kind of the escarpment, as you call it. Right in here, it's going to be a big, big problem for a lot of folks there in the Western Carolinas. Let's look at this with the NAM model. Rolling it through, it's got a landfall of 115 mile per hour wind, so Cat 3. And because it's so powerful, look at the difference in that. Folks, it's got 80 mile an hour winds for Atlanta, Georgia. That's gusts because it's moving so quickly. All right, that's a problem. And those gusts would be hard and heavy Thursday night. This is 4 a.m. This is 8 a.m. So from 4 to 8 for Atlanta, Western Carolinas, that's a lot. That's big time. That's big time, folks. How about the rain on this NAM model? Let's see. That's the same thing. Let's switch it over here. I mean, the mountains here, I mean, this could be a blockbuster type storm, unfortunately. As we zoom in here, all right. 5 to 6, Spartanburg, Gaffney through Greenwood and Anderson. But north of there, Coney, Anderson, actually Anderson's in that 7-8. Greenville's in 8. Asheville specific is 8. But you get into these outlying areas here, these purples, that bright purple. If you go down here to your map, that's 18 to 20 inches of rain. This would be record-breaking rains for these days in these areas. That's why we'll have some landslides in Western North Carolina. We'll have the significant amount of rain coming down too short a period of time. That leads to some problems, right? That leads to some big-time problems. That's a problem. Let's look at the other models for rain. GFS, 6 to 8 with 10 plus there. Let's look at the European. 5 to 6 with 10 plus back here. I mean, all of our computer models, if you blend them, national blend, this is all the models averaged together. Let's look at the National Weather Service. There you go. This is the official National Weather Service forecast. I mean, it's potent, folks. This is a big time rain event at the very least. Let's look at the wind gust swath. Same thing comparing through the models. This is the European wind gust, 40, 50, 60 plus. Let's look at the GFS wind gust models. 70 plus. Let's look at the NAMS computer, 60, 70, 80. I mean, folks, these winds are nasty. Canadian, not in yet. Let's flip it back. One run. Canadian's got 45 to 50. So what I'm telling you here is this is going to have wide-reaching impacts up and down the coast. It's one of those that I'm telling you as we move forward here from Florida to Georgia to South Carolina to North Carolina to Tennessee to Kentucky. There's going to be impacts all along that path. I think some of the greatest impacts are going to be in the Western Carolinas because of the flooding. Of course, landfall is so terrible. You got all those strong winds in excess of 100 miles per hour, but you got 60, 70 mile per hour gusts on top of 12 inches of rain in the upstate of South Carolina, Western North Carolina. Those are the areas that I'm really the most concerned about moving forward. Oh, not to discount by any means. We need to look at the severe threat. How about tornadoes? There's an isolated tornado risk today. We have a front over us. We have twisting and turning of the winds moving in from the south. So don't be surprised if you hear the alarm go off on your phone that there's a tornado warning. That threat much, much higher tomorrow into Thursday night, Friday, as we go towards Savannah, Georgia. They're in a high threat for severe weather, including tornadoes. And when you specifically look at the tornado risk, it's there today in the Western Carolinas through Atlanta. It's not zero, but especially when you look at tomorrow's threat, again, Western North Carolina, parts of the upstate, it's there, but it's much greater along the coast as you get a little bit more instability building up in those areas. So, folks, my commitment to you, as always, is to keep you posted around the clock. If you will, please subscribe to this channel if you're new to it. Severe weather is our thing. We're going to keep you up to date on all things severe weather around the clock here. Please stay tuned. Please stay safe. My prayers are with the first responders out there. For anybody that has to be traveling in this, please get to where you can be. Hunker down. Let this storm pass through. We've got a beautiful dry weekend ahead to recover from it. Folks, we'll keep you posted.